Once upon a time, there was an old merchant who was so rich that he could use silver to cover the entire street he lived in and perhaps even pave an additional alley. But he and number 39 's not foolish enough to play around like that. He has many more useful ways to use his money. He never spent a dime if he was not sure he would get a dime back. But suddenly one day he died. All the gold coins went to the sun. This guy just had fun. Every night he was busy in costume dances, using paper money to make kites and using gold coins to throw stones instead of pieces of pottery. Having fun like that, money must definitely follow each other and escape. Sure enough, the money disappeared so quickly that one day, he was left with only 4 shillings, a pile of bare shoes and 1 housecoat. Not daring to go with him on the street, his friends abandoned him. But a kind person sent him an old trunk and said, "Give me this trunk to store your assets." Then there and number 39's nothing. But there was nothing left to carry and no bed left, so he lay down right in the trunk. That box is also strange. Whenever you press on the lock, it starts to fly. Our young man just pressed on the lock, and the chest came out of the chimney, then soared high, above the clouds, far, far away. The bottom of the trunk creaked, making the guy inside scared to death. Just imagine, if it lost its bottom, it would fall down and die. But thank God, he finally landed in Turkey. Our friend dragged the trunk into the forest. Dressing like he did at that time did not make people pay attention because everyone in Turkey wore house clothes and shoes on the street. Meeting a nanny holding a baby, he said, "Let me ask you a question, nanny. Whose castle is that castle with high windows, right near the city?" The nanny replied, "That is the princess and number 39's residence. People predict that she will meet a husband who makes her very miserable. Therefore, if the king and queen are not present, no one can approach her." The merchant and number 39's son thanked him, then returned to the forest, climbed into the chest, flew up to the castle and knocked on the princess and number 39's door. She was sleeping on a sofa. The merchant and number 39's son saw how beautiful she was. Could N&39's help but hug and kiss her. The princess woke up in shock, but the guy told her that he was the Emperor of Turkey who had just flown here to meet her, so she took it as an honor. They sat together, and he began to admire her wonderful eyes. He said it was a beautiful, deep hole in which thoughts floated like mermaids. Then he flirted with her forehead. It was a sparkling snowy mountain peak. He also talked about carrying well-behaved children into reincarnation in families. Those beautiful flirting words made the princess fall in love. The guy quickly asked the princess to be his wife. She agreed and said, "But you have to come back here on Saturday." That day both the king and queen came here to have tea with the concubine. "Both of you will be very pleased to see me receive the Turkish emperor. So, please prepare to tell the king and queen a great story because they love to listen to stories." The queen liked to hear stories about honest and virtuous people. The king and number 39's father likes fun and humorous stories. The guy replied, "My wedding gift is just telling a story." They parted ways, but before that, the princess gave him a sword encrusted with gold coins. That gold money will also help him. He flew to buy a new shirt, then returned to the forest. To make up a story. Saturday already has to be told, but it and number 39's not like there and number 39's a story to tell. Anyway, by Saturday he was ready. The king, queen, and all the royal court gathered at the princess and number 39's castle to have tea. The merchant and number 39's son was received very warmly. The queen asks, "Please tell us a story. A story with profound educational properties, okay?" The king added, "But at the same time it and number 39's funny. Please be willing," the guy said, and then began to tell. And quote, "Once upon a time there was a matchbox that was very proud of its noble lineage. The father of those matches was a large pine tree, a large old tree in the forest. Yet the poor matches had to stay in the kitchen, next to a lighter and an old pot, and could only recount the glorious youth to them. They said, and quote, 'Yes, we once lived happily on the green branches of trees. Every morning and every evening we drink tea with dewdrops that sparkle like diamonds. On sunny days, we enjoy the sunshine all day, and little birds come to tell us stories. We are rich children, we know there are trees that only wear green leaves during the hot season, while we wear green clothes all winter and summer. But suddenly one day the woodcutter came. Then came the Great Revolution, and our family was torn apart. Our father was used as the mainmast on a very beautiful ship that could sail around the world. The other branches go elsewhere, but our fate is to bring fire to the world, so we are banished to a kitchen like this, even though we are children of a noble family.'" And quote, the pot next to the matchbox said, "I am different. Since I was born, I have been burned countless times. Here, I am the one who can endure the most and is the most precious in this house. I like it the most. After appearing at the dinner table, I would clean it up and chat with friends. If it weren't and hash 39's tea for the water bucket that occasionally came down to the yard, it could be said that I would just live around these four walls. My only source of information is the food bin, but it always speaks ill of the government, so much so that one day an old jar fell down in fright and broke into pieces. It can be said that she is a dissatisfied person. You talk too much nonsense?" The lighter said, then took the steel wheel and swiped on the stone, causing a spark to come out. "But did you find anything fun this evening?" The matchboys shouted, "That and number 39's right, let and number 39's debate who among us is the most noble son." Pot brushed it off. "No, I don and number 39's tea like talking about myself. Let and number 39's find another issue to talk about. Let me start talking first. Let me start by telling you a true story. True stories are still the best stories, but it and number 39's not easy to hear them. So, on the Baltic Sea coast, among the beech trees, in the Danish forests. Well done. The plates were loudly praised. That is where I lived my young life in a quiet house. The furniture is shiny, the wooden floors are clean, and the curtains are changed every half a month." Broom complimented, "Very good, very good." As soon as I heard it, I immediately knew it was a woman and number 39's voice telling the story, because women always pay attention to cleanliness. "Right," the water bucket said, and happily tilted its head, causing some of the water to spill onto the wooden floor. Pot continues to tell his life story. The last part is as good as the first. The discs are so nice, they just click and click. Broom took a few coriander branches from the trash and threw them into the neck of the pot to reward him, knowing that by doing so, others will be jealous and dissatisfied. But the broom thought to himself, "Today I reward it, surely tomorrow it will have to reward me, right?" The charcoal tongs invited, and quat, "Let and number 39's dance together now," and quat. After saying that, he tried his best to stretch his arms up to the sky. The mattress in the kitchen saw that and laughed so hard that it cracked its stomach. He held the coals and axe, and quat, "Is it worth giving me a wreath like a pot?" and quat, "It was truly rewarded." The matches thought to themselves, and quat, "After all, they are just low-class people." And quat, it was the teapot and number 39's turn to sing, but it caught a bit of a cold. When it and number 39's really hot, it can sing. Actually, that and number 39's just a made-up reason. It was saved until it was placed on the table, in front of the owners, before it sang. On the window, there was a quill pen, which the Lotus sister still used to write. There and number 39's nothing noteworthy about that pen other than the fact that there and number 39's too much ink in it. Yet the owner was not the least bit upset. Pen said, "If the kettle dozen and hash 39's want to sing, that and number 39's fine." In the cage outside we also have a lovely and obedient nightingale, probably not very talented, but tonight, you shouldn't and hash 39's be difficult. The kettle is both a musician and a partner. They reached for the teapot and added, "I don and number 39's think it and number 39's appropriate to let that strange bird sing for us. Where is the spirit of self-reliance? Ask the basket to see if it and number 39's right?" The basket then spoke up, "I and number 39's am not satisfied, very dissatisfied with you guys. All night long, just like that, is it okay? Is it better to go and clean the house? I will host this game." Playing like that was fun and a little useful. Everyone shouted in unison, and quat, "That and number 39's right," and quat. But at that moment the door suddenly opened and the Lotus sister walked in. Everyone stood still, silent, but in their hearts, everyone regretted, "Listening to me, did it sound like a very fun evening?" The Lotus sister took matches to light the kitchen. Awesome! They flare up brightly. They thought to themselves, "Now everyone can see that we are the noblest. We shine so brightly." Then they just burned to death. The Queen said, "What a great story. I thought I was completely alive in that kitchen, among the matchsticks. You will marry the princess." The king also said, "Surely I will marry the princess to you. Now the king and queen call me by my name, I am about to become a member of the royal family." The wedding date is set. Decided, and the night before the wedding the whole city lit up. People brought cakes, jams and fruits to the people. Children played in the street all night, cheering and clapping. It was so fun. The old merchant and number 39's son thought to himself, "I also have to compete in something." He was looking to buy firecrackers, sky rockets, whatever kind of fireworks he had, put them in the box and fly in the sky while he was there. Burn. The Turkish people liked it so much. They jumped up and down, until their ice shoes were hitting their ears. They had never seen such a strange phenomenon in the sky. They were in no hurry to find out what it was, because at that time the Turkish emperor was about to marry the princess. As soon as the merchant in number 39's son came to the forest with his trunk, he immediately thought, he had to go immediately to the city to see what the outcome was. Everywhere he went, he saw people talking about what had just happened. Everyone described those strange fireworks according to their own eyes, but everyone said they had never seen anything as interesting as them. Others said, "I have seen the Emperor of Turkey, who has eyes as bright as stars and a beard like bubbling water." Some said, "He wears a cloak of fire. In the folds of the clothes, there are hidden beautiful fairies." That day, he only heard people praising him without hesitation. The next day was the wedding day. He returned to the forest to get into the trunk. "But where can I find it? Alas, it has burned away." A leftover firework had caught fire, and now the box was reduced to ashes. Our friend can no longer fly and return to see the princess. She stood waiting. All day on the rooftop, waiting forever. But he was traveling around the world and telling stories. But the story he told later was not as happy as the story of the matches he told the king, queen and princess. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.